Hi all, Renee here. I am here today to show you some cards that I made. This is part of a collaboration with my Stampin' Up team that I'm on. And what we were supposed to be using this time around is specialty paper. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any of the new specialty papers in my hot little hands. That is something that will be coming, but I just want to let you know we have some other paper. I did use some retired paper called the Gold Mercury Vellum, which is absolutely beautiful. I'm so sad that it's retired. It's just amazing paper. It is a vellum, so it is a little bit see-through, as you can see here, but it's such a thick vellum that I'm able to put glue just about anywhere and not have any problems. So I bought 2 packs of it, and I'm afraid once I get down to just a few sheets, I'll probably become a hoarder and won't use it. But in the meantime, I made a bunch of cards. But what's really important about this is some techniques that you can use with any specialty paper, and we have some amazing specialty paper. Just ones off the top of my head, and I'll try to throw up a picture up here for you so you can see what they are. Season of Elegance specialty paper, specialty DSP. That would be perfect for this technique. Also, any metallic paper. Also, there's an ombre glitter paper in the catalog that I think is just beautiful that would work with this, as well as our new velvet paper, which is amazing. So those are some things that you can use. But like I said, this is mainly about technique. So I'm going to show you real quick each of the cards that I made and what kind of a technique that I used on them. Now, as you can see, the background, hopefully this is visible, the background is that specialty paper. What I did was I cut that background to 5 1/4 by 4, and then from the part that you can't see that's underneath this white is where I cut out all of my die shapes. And what I did was I went through all my dies and just found some shapes that I thought would work well. And I thought that these little dies right here would work really well. And as a matter of fact, I cut out a whole bunch from this set and did the same thing, the same kind of a technique where you cut it out of the specialty paper. And then because this is vellum, I backed it with black to give it a little more weight and to pull through that black color that just looks so pretty. So I'm going to save these, possibly use them on other cards, or I could use them on some scrapbook pages that I'm working on. So that's something to think about. So any kind of a die that you have that has a large outline that you could look at and say, oh yeah, that would be a good silhouette. If it can be a silhouette, this technique will work. And all you do is you cut it out of the center of your specialty paper that's going to be covered by this white cardstock layer. And this cardstock layer on all the cards, I did the same measurements. This back layer of the specialty paper is 5 1/4 by 4. And then I did this 5 by 3 3/4. So just took a 1/4 inch off and gave it that double matted look and put it on a white card base, which creates a third mat automatically. This particular ribbon, I didn't have the right ribbon color. The ink is Blackberry Bliss, and this was a leftover from a paper pumpkin that I didn't use. So I thought, you know what perfect way but to pick it up and use it. But this ribbon was actually just like a cream color ribbon, and I used the Blackberry Bliss Stampin' Write marker. You could also use just the actual stamp pad, and I just colored it to match the ink that I used on this one. So that's how I made this one. And the Just a Note sentiment comes also from I didn't grab that, it came from the Paper Pumpkin stamp set. So there's my first sample. Then my second sample is this Scenic Adventure stamp set and die set. I had so much fun with this. This is the first time I've used it, and I'll just give you a quick look at what you get in here because this is still available. You get the photopolymer stamps, which I'll show you this because you'll be able to see the stamps better. Those are all of the stamps. And then these are all the dies that come in the bundle. So let me show you how I did this. So again, I cut that specialty paper down to my 5 1/4 by 4. Then I die cut out these trees and this little tree, and did the same technique where I put the black paper underneath it to make it thicker. And then what I used was this fun die. This die is so amazing. What it does is it only cuts the top. So I took the white background, and I cut it across to make more of a forest back here. And you can cut more. I could have done several layers of them. And then this, I just did sponging, where you just take a sponge, get a teeny tiny bit wet, take your stamp, your ink pad, rub it on your glass mat, and then just dab it with that sponge, and made that sponged background for the trees. And then this little tree is up on a dimensional. And then the You're Amazing, I don't know if you can see it's shining. It is actually heat embossed with our metallic gold Wow embossing powder. And I just think it turned out so beautiful. I love this card. So that's what I used on that one. On this one, let's put this stamp set away. I used the Beautiful Motifs stamp. I used this stamp right here. And I also used the dies, and I used this die right here. And I wasn't sure, this was kind of an experiment because I wasn't quite sure how this would work given that this particular die, excuse me, is pretty detailed. Oh, excuse me. And what I did with this is I did that same exact technique. And then underneath the Just a Note, I used this stamp right here with the Blackberry Bliss ink with second generation stamping, meaning I put the ink on the stamp, I stamped it off, and then I stamped it on here so that I would get that really light Blackberry Bliss color. And this is also Blackberry Bliss, and again, a piece from a paper pumpkin that was left over. But I love the way this came out. I left the black in these little areas to give it a little more depth. I just like the way that looked. The next one is also made with Beautiful Motifs, and it is made with this die right here. I love this die. It makes the prettiest fern, and I've actually cut a whole bunch of them, and they're in my little bucket that I use for tucking into other projects. But I love the way that this one came out. There's so much of that specialty paper that shows up. So I wanted to show you this one to show you that if you do this technique with some sort of a die that has a lot of surface area, I think it turns out better. And then I also used this stamp right here. However, I doubled it. So I let this end right here peek out right here, and then I stamped it again so that this part could peek out this side. Now on this one, I also did the second generation stamping, but when I did the first generation off, I just barely touched. So I just barely took some of the ink off. So this ink is a little bit darker than what was on this other card. And then this Just a Note was also from that paper pumpkin. So that one turned out so cute. Then I wanted to show you one. I do not have the party alphabet dies, but I do have some old letters, old alphabet dies right here from Close to My Heart. And I just grabbed Joy because I thought it would make a nice Christmas card. And for this one, I did the shadow technique where you cut the die in another color, and you can do this with any of your alphabet dies. And I just cut it with a darker color with the black, and then just offset the designer, the specialty paper, just a teeny tiny bit so that that black can show. And I love the way this came out. And then this wreath and the bow is from this ephemera pack called Time for Celebration. This is one of my favorite ephemera packs. I have several, but this is one of my favorites because these are all stickers, and they are heavy stickers. But that just makes life so much easier. This card came together so quickly. Really like the way this one came out. And then the last one I want to show you, I just wanted to show you, this is actually another die that's retired from Close to My Heart, unfortunately. But if you ever come across any kind of a die that has some sentiment on it that's big and bulky, this technique works for that as well. So on this one, I also did the black shadow technique on the die set. I mean, sorry, the die when I glued it down. And I love the way this one came out. I also, what I did with this one that I didn't do on the others, and I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see the dimension, but I actually cut it out of the black 3 times. 2 of them I glued directly together and then glued the XOXO specialty paper directly on it as well, completely lined up. And that makes it gives it quite a bit of dimension without having to figure out how to get dimensionals under all these little areas. So feel free to use that idea as well. And that is everything that I have for you today for our um, for our collaboration. My words are just like not working today. Oh, by the way, this particular stamp set is retired. I am so sorry about that. But these 2 are available, and this ephemera pack is available. So if you wanted to make what I've made here, there is quite a bit that you can do. And again, I would recommend the Season of Elegance paper, the metallic, the ombre glitter, or the velvet. I think the velvet would be absolutely beautiful, especially with this card. But it would also work with any of these others to have that velvet paper. So I wish you could see this in person because these cards really are something else. They're just so shiny. And I created all of these cards in probably an hour and a half total, start to finish. So once you have some specialty paper, it can really ramp up your creativity, and you'll be able to do so much more than you think because the paper's doing it for you. So with that, I'm going to let you go. There is a playlist down below to the other girls who are in the collaboration, so you can see what they did with specialty paper. And I hope you're having a great day. If you're not already a subscriber, it would mean so much to me if you would hit that subscribe button. And if you like this video, if you could just give me a thumbs up, that would be wonderful. And the last thing that I have is if you could tell me which one of these cards was your favorite. The You're Amazing is my favorite, but if you wouldn't mind telling me down below, just quick little which card it was that you liked the best. And with that, I will let you go. I hope you're having a great day. Bye.